today's video we'll be ranking all these combat mechanics in a tier list. These rankings are based off how they affect the combat in overall gaming, so it's not specific to one game. For example, a headshot inside Rainbow Six Siege is an insta-kill compared to Apex Legends where it's not insta-kill. And before the video starts, I will let you know that everyone has their own opinions and your opinion might be different than mine. And I also like to clarify that F equals trash, D equals bad, C equals average, B equals good, A is great, and S is goated. Now let's get into the video. First thing I'll be ranking is counterattacks. Okay, now what are counterattacks? Counterattacking is a combat mechanic that lets you immediately strike back after a successful block or avoiding an enemy's attack. Instead of just defending, you use your opponent's opening against them, rewarding patience. A well-executed counterattack often deals extra damage, staggers enemies, or creates an opportunity for a powerful combo. An example of a counterattack is here inside Guilty Gear. Now what do I think of them? They're alright. By no means are they bad, but they'll never be like a game changer in my opinion. It's typically pretty rare to see them in games, but when you do see them, it's nothing too crazy. Although they are pretty satisfying to hit. That's why I think they're perfect for the B tier. Next up on the list, which is pretty similar to a counterattack, is the parry. Parrying is a combat mechanic where you block an enemy's attack with precise timing instead of simply holding a block. A successful parry usually stuns the enemies, leaves them vulnerable, or completely negates incoming damage. Unlike standard blocking, parrying rewards skill and quick reflexes by creating a perfect opening to counterattack. Here's an example of a parry inside Sekiro. Now what I will say about parries is that they're super satisfying to hit. Like hitting a parry after parry inside a video game is like no other, and they can be super useful. The only thing I have against them is that you kind of have to practice a lot to get good at them. And if you're not good at them, they kind of become a detriment to you. But that's why I think is holding them back from being S tier, which might be a skill issue. That's what makes me put them into the A tier. Now time to rank headshots. Headshots are pretty straightforward. They reward the player for landing precise shots on enemies' heads. They typically deal significantly more damage than body shots, and even in some games they reward an insta-kill. This mechanic raises the skill ceiling by emphasizing accuracy, precision, and quick reflexes. Games like Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, and Valorant have made headshots one of the most satisfying ways to eliminate opponents. What I will say is that not all headshots are created equal, but they're generally always good in games. Like in most games, they become the game changer to see if you or your enemy gets a kill quicker. Not to mention how satisfying it can be once you get a clean headshot. Like hitting an insta-kill with a sniper from far away just feels like no other. And honestly, that's why I think they deserve the S tier spot. Fourth mechanic to rank is grabs. Grabs are a combat mechanic that lets players seize an enemy, often bypassing their guard or interrupting their attacks. They can lead to powerful throws, devastating finishes, or create space and regain control of a fight. Because grabs punish overly defensive opponents, they add another level of strategy beyond simply attacking or blocking. Here's an example of a grab inside Super Smash Bros. Now when I think about grabs, they're kinda eh. Any game where there's a block, there's a grab, which makes grabs almost feel like they're only there to counter the block. Not to say they can't be good, but in my personal opinion, I don't find myself wanting to use the grab that much. It's more something that I'm forced to use, and for that reason, they're going to C tier. Now it's time to rank the stagger. Stagger, also known as a guard break or posture break in some games, is a combat mechanic that temporarily leaves the enemy unable to defend themselves after taking enough pressure or having their guard broken. Once staggered, enemies become vulnerable to a powerful attack, critical hits, or devastating finishers. This mechanic rewards aggressive gameplay and well-timed attacks instead of mindlessly swinging on your opponent. Here's an example inside Elden Ring. What do I think about staggers? They're kind of forgettable. If you're playing a hyper-aggressive playstyle, they become very useful. But if you're playing more passive, they're kind of mid. They're not very prevalent in games, but once you see them, they're pretty fun. Just because you don't see them that much, and I feel like they're pretty rare to hit, I think they deserve C tier. If you came this far into the video, I'd just like to thank you for watching the video. If you could like and subscribe, it'll greatly help the channel out and make me want to post more videos like this. Okay, now let's get back into the video. Next thing to rank is critical hits. Critical hits are a combat mechanic that deals bonus damage, usually triggered by luck, special abilities, or striking an enemy's weak point. They create exciting moments by rewarding players with unexpected, powerful attacks that can quickly turn the tide of a fight. The possibilities of landing a critical hit adds suspense and makes every attack feel more impactful. Here's an example of a critical hit inside Pokemon. Hot take, I do not like critical hits. I feel like they reward luck and not actual skill. And sure, it is cool to hit one every now and then, but there's never really a sense of accomplishment where there is with like a parry. It just adds a sense of luck into the game that can feel frustrating if the enemy hits you with one or you can't seem to hit one yourself. The only times it's like kinda good in my opinion is when it's in roguelike games. Even then, it adds unnecessary luck. That's why I have to give it the only F tier. Okay, I forgot to add this to the list, but it's blocking. Blocking is a defense combat mechanic that lets the player reduce or completely prevent damage from incoming attacks. Blocking allows you to hold your ground and wait for the perfect moment to strike back. Many games balance blocking with stamina or guard meters, forcing the players to use it strategically rather than relying on it constantly. Here's a good example inside Street Fighter. I mean, blocking is just a classic move. In any game where there's like hand-to-hand combat or like sword fighting, it's always going to be in there. And is one of, if not the most consistent throughout gaming. But they're nothing really crazy. For that reason, I'm going to have to rank them B tier. Now time to rank finishers. Finishers are special combat moves that let the player deliver a powerful final blow to a weakened or vulnerable enemy. They usually feature unique animations that make defeating an opponent feel dramatic and rewarding. Beyond looking cool, finishers often provide gameplay benefits like restoring health or granting invincibility frames. Here's an example inside Apex Legends.
Took out a Joker.
Most of the time, finishers are just for visual looks and serve no gameplay value. It may even hinder your gameplay. Solely for that reason, they're probably going to have to rank lower on this list. Not to say they aren't cool, but I also feel like finishers are only cool the first couple times you use them, and then they get kind of boring until you buy another one. That's just my take, and I'm going to have to put them into D tier. Okay, last but not least, we have dodging. Dodging is a combat mechanic that allows players to quickly evade incoming attacks by moving out of an enemy's way and at the right moment. It rewards timing, reflex, and the ability to read enemy movement before they strike. Many games enhance the dodging features with things like invincibility frames, perfect dodges, or slow motion effects that make successful evasions feel incredibly rewarding. Here's an example inside the game Hades. I love dodges in games so much. Almost every game approaches the dodge differently, and it always feels refreshing. Anytime a game has a dodge, it always feels like the most viable option for avoiding damage in my opinion. Not to mention, some games can turn the dodge into more than just a move to avoid damage. Like in how Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, if you time it perfectly, you're rewarded with a Flurry Rush, which deals a bunch of damage. In my opinion, it just feels like the most versatile move throughout gaming. It's also super satisfying to hit a bunch of dodges in a row and completely avoid an enemy's hits. And in my opinion, that's why I think it deserves the spot in the top of S tier. That concludes my tier list. Now, I probably did miss a lot of gaming mechanics, but I feel like these are just the main combat mechanics inside games. I greatly appreciate all the support I've gotten on my last video, and once again ask for you guys to like and subscribe. You guys can debate each other in the comments about my rankings. Other than that, that concludes the video. Goodbye.